What's up guys, Ryan here from Mud Gunner, and today I have some pretty cool rifles to show you. I figured I would show you guys some 14.5-inch barrel 5.56 rifles that I have because honestly I really like how I've set them up, and I figured we could just do a quick rundown of them. So all three of these ARs are a 14.5-inch 5.56, and I think a 14.5-inch barrel is pretty popular. I mean, there's so many barrel lengths. I have this goal to collect them all for whatever reason, but there are a lot of barrel lengths, but 14.5 is kind of an iconic one. It's really well known for being an M4A1. So right here we have an M4A1 Block 2, which is the free-floating Daniel Defense Wrist 2 rail. And then the one before that would have been like the Knights Armament 2-piece quad rail with the fixed front sight post. And then you kind of have the Block 3, which is the URGI, that also has a 14.5-inch barrel. So I think it's really popular in that way. Like, our military's been using them for a long time. It's got good ballistics and barrel velocity. I think it's like 27 to 29 depending on the ammo and other variables, but overall it is a good round, and I do think you can make a pretty cool like workhorse AR with that specific barrel length. And then the other one that I have here is a clone from a show that I'm doing from the Terminalis. So this is a rifle that Chris Pratt used in the Terminalis, and I'll talk about that too. We'll kind of start at this end. So this one's basically a Block 2 build. It's on a Daniel Defense M4A1. So it started life as a factory Daniel Defense M4A1. I have changed some things on it. So I took the factory flash hider off and replaced it with a Surefire 4-prong. When you buy a 14.5-inch barrel, most of them are pinned on there to make it 16 overall, because you do have to have a 16-inch rifle in order for it to be a rifle. If it's less than that, it would be classified as an SBR if you have a stock on there, which is dumb, I know. But yeah, so this has a Surefire 4-prong now. I had it re-pinned and welded so that it's 16 overall. It is set up for a Surefire RC2 suppressor or something similar, so basically any Surefire suppressor, but that would pop on, tighten it, and ready to go. Now 14.5-inch barrels are a little long suppressed, but it's still good, it's still usable. You figure, I mean, they were rocking 20-inch guns back in the day, so 14.5 is completely doable suppressed. And then it is the factory Daniel Defense barrel, it's the factory Wrist 2 rail. Receiver wise, it's all the same. When I bought this one, it had a POF trigger in here, so it's a pretty light trigger. I like it, no complaints. You'll notice that 4-prong has a pretty like noticeable tuning fork noise. Like, listen to this. Just hear the ting off it. Certain flash hiders are very noisy, but if you don't want that like ting noise, I would recommend a closed tine flash hider. That just means this is all sealed up front too, so you won't get that like loud noise. But yeah, so it came with a POF trigger, and then I did a lot of stuff on the back end. I replaced the factory furniture with B5 Coyote Brown furniture. I have the Radiant safety selector and charging handle in kind of like it's Coyote Brown or like bronze color. It's not FDE, but it's really dark and it looks good. And then I also have a B5 trigger guard on there too. That's the aluminum one. And overall, I like it. On the front end here, we're running a Cloud Defensive Rain 2.0. And then I do have Daniel Defense fixed iron sights. People ask why the front sight is further back. It's kind of in the same spot where a fixed front sight post would be. And Daniel Defense actually sells a model with a fixed front sight post on the barrel. And this kind of just mimics that. It's just a quick detach sight, or it's mounted by a screw. And then I'm running my pressure pad in front of it. So holding it, I mean, it's pretty comfortable, and I can still use my iron sights. I can still use my optic. We do have, I think this is Rail Scales. You guys have told me this before. I think this is by Rail Scales. It's like a metal angled / vertical grip. I bought it used through our store, so that's why I'm not too familiar with it. We don't stock these, but yeah, it's nice. So I can, again, wrap my hand around, and it's basically a C-clamp grip where I can get the pressure pad on top. But I really like it, and then if you needed to use it for barricade, it would make a really good barricade stop. And then I'm running a Magpul QD RSA for a sling. I actually don't have a sling on this one right now, but I have one right here that I'll show you. And then optic-wise, we're running an EOTech EXPS 3-0. And this isn't like a true like clone, but it does look the part, and I'm actually working on a couple other M4A1s as well. I have a really cool one that I'm excited to show you guys later in the year, but it's not done yet. So yeah, this is my current M4A1 Block 2 build, and I really like it. It shoots good, and I think it just looks really cool. I like the flat dark earth. Again, my Surefire suppressor would work well with it. And then I'll show you guys the sling in just a second. But yeah, there's that, and then we got a cool Duramag in like the bronze Cerakote, or not Cerakote, this is like an anodized, but that looks good. And then next up, we have my URGI build. So this is a Geisley URGI near clone correct upper. So it's a complete Geisley upper. They come from the factory with a 14.5-inch barrel with a pin Surefire 4-prong as well. And then it's their like Mark 16 rail. It's their upper bolt carrier group charging handle. It's the smaller, like I think airborne charging handle. I think that's what it is, but it's just the Geisley charging handle. I like the larger latch ones better. but I'm not going to change it because it's got the like pin number for the clone upper, so I'm going to leave all that the same. The lower on this one though is a Brownells lower, but I am going to eventually swap it out for a Geisley lower. That's just what came with it when I bought it, so it does look nice, and it's got the little QR code on the side. So yeah, I do like it. Again, it's also set up for the Surefire suppressor, and I think it looks better on this one than it does the Block 2. So it's still a little long, but it does look good. This would also kind of shine with a PEC on there if you're using it for night vision use, but as of right now, this is not going to be a night vision gun for me. I am running a Mod Light OKW with a Unity button, and then it's coming from a Surefire tail cap. So it's kind of like three different brands right here. So we have Mod Light, Surefire, and then Unity. And it's very nice and bright. It's a little bit more compact of a flashlight, and I like them. They're very bright. They have pretty decent throw, and that little Unity button's nice because it's very slim. So I like that. And then optic-wise, we are running a Vortex Razor 1-6 in here. This is the Gen 2. It's got the Vortex throw lever, and then I'm running it in a Badger Ordnance mount. This is the 1.7-inch mount. I basically just kind of copied what Grantham was using on that mount because it looked really good. And eventually, I wouldn't mind throwing an offset RMR on here because I don't have iron sights, so having an offset red dot would be nice. I like backup sights, but yeah, with this you have 1-6. It's very nice. It works well. I used to have this optic on here, but then when I got this, I'm like, I think it would look better on here. And then lower, again, it's a Brownells lower. It's got a Geisley trigger in it. I don't know which one, that's how I bought it. It's standard A2 grip, B5 stock. And then this one, I have a Blue Force Gear sling, but this is a used one that came through our store, and whoever sold it to us, they cut a lot of nylon off it, so it's not very adjustable. You'll notice this is for as far back as it'll go. Yeah, they cut so much nylon off that it's basically exactly where I need it with no room for adjustment. So it's not ideal. Like, I can shoot just fine, but I can't loosen it. I can tighten it a little bit, but it's not, I would like a little bit more slack to have more leeway with what I can do with it. So, and then you'll notice on the back, I don't even have a QD point on here. So I just kind of looped it through, and it's not going anywhere. I've done a video on how to set up slings, but as long as you kind of set them up similarly, it's pretty universal across all guns, but that's not going anywhere. It's just looped in right there in the little slot. And then I'm running a QD point on the front here. Again, they cut a lot off, so, and it's not the greatest torch job on the end. But yeah, just quick detaches into the rail. But I think what I'd like to do is put this sling on this gun, and then I have another sling here that I bought. So this came from Red Clover Gear. They gave me one for free. They gave me a black multicam one. I did a video on that one before, but I also bought one just to show some support, and it was honestly a really cool sling. So this is an Arid multicam one, and it's quick detach, it's padded, it's got plenty of slack to work with. It comes with GG&G QD points, which are good American-made QD points here in Arizona. The sling is made here in Arizona. It's all Berry compliant, so I think that means they source all or as much of their materials as they can in the States. So I think that would allow them to gain military contracts if they could, but yeah, Berry compliant. And the black one I set up is really comfy so far, but I think my plan is to set this one up on this gun and then move this B5 sling to this gun. But either way, I mean, this would look good on either one too, because I do like the Arid camo. I don't know, you guys tell me which one it would look better on, but I'm thinking that one. I'm not going to put it on right now because it'll take me a couple minutes. And then the last one I wanted to show you guys is my Terminalis clone. So this is a BCM Recce 14. It's a 14.5-inch M-LOK rail. And then this one, it's mostly stock internally. There's a couple things I've done. So I took the factory muzzle device off and replaced it with a rugged 3-port muzzle brake. I'm not normally a fan of muzzle brakes, or not that I'm not a fan, I just don't really use them. But in the show, Terminalis with Chris Pratt, he uses a rugged 3-port muzzle brake. He does not run it suppressed, but he does have a suppressed HK416. And on that HK416, he's running a rugged Micro 30 suppressor. So I'm thinking about getting one of those to run on here. Again, he doesn't run this gun suppressed on the show, but I'd like to have a suppressor for it. And I like rugged suppressors. So yeah, I'm thinking about buying that. He's running Magpul M-Bus sights, which he's running Magpul M-Bus sights. So these are the polymer flip-up sights. I just realized that this one's getting caught right here. I think I took either the light off or the front sight off and put it back on, so I'll have to adjust that. But I tried to set it up exactly where he had it in the show. So yeah, that just needs a little bit of adjustment because you see it's not opening. What I'll actually do right now is I'll show you guys what's cool with this light. This is a Cloud Defensive Owl. They don't make them anymore, but they were pretty modular. So the light, you don't really need any tools to take on or off. You use the tail cap, and then you can use that as a screw. I think it just got pushed forward because now. I'm just going to move this back one notch. So use this to unscrew it, pop off, there we go, tighten it back on. And what's cool about this light is it's ambidextrous, so you can move the tail cap and the head to either side and flip it on either side of the gun, and it's like a 3-lug locking piece, so that's pretty neat. Again, you don't need any tools to loosen it or tighten it. It's just 3-lug, and then now I can flip this up. Yeah, so Magpul M-Bus flip up sights, Cloud Defensive Owl, that's appropriate for the show. Aimpoint T2 on a LaRue mount. There's 2 things I'm missing right now. I'm missing the rail wrap. I forgot the company off the top of my head, but if I remember, I'll tell you guys, or I'll post it after the video. So I'm missing the wrap, and then I'm missing an Aimpoint X3C magnifier. It's the flip-to-side magnifier. We have them at our store, I'm waiting for a used one because we will eventually buy a used one. But after I have those 2 things on here, it will be 100% done. All the back end is just factory BCM, so their stock, their grip. He was running a Magpul MS4 QD sling in the show as a single point. I'm not necessarily a fan of single point for the most part. I like 2-point more, but single point's fine. And then the other downside with the way they have it set up in the show, he has an M-lock piece right here, QD mount, but that's not in an ideal spot for running this as a 2-point gun because it's too far forward for where I would want it, because then like you can't really grab that very well at all. Even if I put the QD point in the stock, where I would rather see the QD point is in the front, because this is not usable as a 2-point gun right now, but that's exactly where he had the QD point in the show. So again, I'm making it all clone correct for the show, but running it as a single point would be fine. It's just, I don't care about single point as much because you basically have to have one hand on the gun at all times just so it doesn't ding you in the leg. But yeah, so that is my Terminalis clone, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, I just need those 2 things. The rail wrap is like 80 bucks. Again, the magnifier is about 800, but I'm just waiting for a used one. So once I have those, I'll show you guys again, and we'll shoot it on the channel once it cools down a little bit more. Right now, desert's closed. So I try to shoot at the range on the weekends, but I can only get so much content out for you guys, so I'm going. But this winter, you'll see a lot more shooting content, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I mean, these are the 3 14.5-inch guns that I have. I really like them. I mean, there's more builds that I'm working on, but these ones are, I mean, they're mostly done. I like having an optic and some type of iron sight, but optic, light, and sling. Again, this one doesn't have a sling, but I got it right here. And then, I mean, that's basically it. Everything else is kind of like a luxury, like having a nice trigger, having nice safety or charging handle. That's kind of all just a luxury. So those are the main things that I would say any rifle needs, is an optic or some type of sights, a light, and a sling. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're looking to support the channel, check out my website. It's atroxco.com. I've dropped a couple batches of shirts on there. So I have a lift gun shoot weight shirt that's pretty funny. And then I also have my Brass Goblin shirt. And then for the month of August, if you buy any of my stickers, I will duplicate it. So if you buy one type of sticker, you'll get 2 of it. And that's for any stickers. So again, if you're looking to support the channel, go check that out. It's atroxco.com. And then other than that, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.